Hello, everyone. Hope you're well. Much love. Just checking in. There's still room to join in Missoula on December 7th and 8th. We're doing a workshop called Seeing the Mirror. We're doing some powerful shamanic movements and getting ourselves into deep states of silence. And I got a new course coming up in January, so all of that is available. But I just wanted to say hello and thank you, all the new people that have reached out in my life and all the new contacts. It's so great to be connecting with so many amazing people. Look forward to meeting with many of you who've signed up on my to mentor with me. So just really loving these days as we transition here in Montana into some colder, darker times. Feels really powerful to be in the mountains this year, and it has been before, but just so thankful for the magic that comes with wherever you live, and you can find that anywhere. Some of the most powerful places have been the most desolate deserts, or like places in Alaska that are just flat and just nothing, just mosquitoes. It just, sometimes what would seem like a place you wouldn't want to go could be the place that would really do it for you. A lot of people avoid the cold, and I get that. There's something to it, learning how to be in the cold. You discover resources within your being that are really helpful and magical to have access to. And learning how to handle heat too. I got heat sick in the desert because I wasn't listening to the old men. They were wearing all blue denim long sleeve shirts while we were framing houses in the middle of the desert, and I'm out there just in shorts, like how can those guys be fully clothed? But the sun can take you out pretty bad if you're not listening and pushing past. And getting heat sick is like the worst thing in the world. It's just totally uncomfortable. But I have no reference for the opposite, which would, almost freezing to death. I've seen some really intense stuff. I've helped people through some where their nervous system shut down in the cold and it's hard for them to get warm again. And that's crazy to witness and would be uncomfortable as well. So it's not like we want to push ourselves into danger zones, but learning how to handle heat can be a real breakthrough as far as like saunas go and sweat lodge and stuff. And then the cold, it wakes you up on a big level when you are able to relax your shoulders instead of tense up, because that helps a lot. The tension actually makes it so much worse. So the ability to do these things, and a lot of you are doing that with ice baths and stuff. It's different though in the mountains, in the snow, just really tapping into the intensity of the environment that way. And there's a chillingness to being in the wilderness alone in the winter. There's like a message, to receive out there that's really profound. So we're not disconnected. It's just how we show up and where we go, and if we listen to where to go. And it could just be the slightest deviation in your pattern that frees up, a new feeling within you that would open a door to new other ways of engaging with the mother. There's a lot of adventures to have. This place is amazing. We still have a lot of freedom to roam around and explore, and there's a lot more freedom coming in the dreaming side for sure. As the veil is lifting, people are going to become super curious about being able to sort of place their awareness outside of themselves and start to explore around. Like while you're asleep, you could, instead of go to sleep, stay in that in-between place and tap into like your ability to sense the room that you're sleeping in, and then sense maybe what's outside of that room, and start to become more creative that way with what you do when you're laying in silence. You can learn to tap into your dreaming essence and run it through your system. and just repair yourself when you have access to all uh, that type of self-care. It's a type of engaging with um, the electrical energy that comes from the mother, and receiving the consciousness of the sunlight, and just we do this work enough, and that's what I do in my courses, is guide people in that way. The movements lead to being able to get silent enough to then receive the support that comes from the sun, and then often to give your pain to the earth. You learn how to let it go, um, and admit to what is undealt with within your system, because the body keeps record of everything, and a lot of stuff happened at a really young age we don't even have access to, really. So just the fact that we came out of such unique states of pure perception and then got brought into this way of interacting with the world through the way our parents behaved, we mimicked their behavior, and therefore they passed on the description of their world to us. But it doesn't have to be our world. So a lot of this work is not becoming your parents by rejecting their description and finding a magical description of your own, and then making that adjustment from living in this heavy pattern of what your parents gave you to really becoming free of it and stepping into a totally different, timeless intensity, really. So you become a threat, though. Just the nature of the fact you're doing that is uncomfortable to people, and they sense it, and it's especially confronting in your family. But that's just the way it is, there's no way around that. You can get creative, though, and build bridges rather than burn them, and be really, I don't know, not self. It doesn't have to be about you. You can really just see if it can be about them, because they're the ones that are fragile in this. We've discovered there's so much more to this world. Their world is built on a house of cards. It's a threat to them if you start to suggest that things aren't what they really, what they appear to be. But rather than be at odds with anyone, actually thank them for showing you something that you need to see. Allow their inability to see the moreness to be a jolt that serves you. It's a message to your uniqueness, and they're essentially sacrificing themselves on a level to show you that, so you can get an upfront, close view of what it means to stay hypnotized to the degree that most people are comfortable in. Hypnosis is quite it's there's a lot of layers. So I have many layers of hypnosis I'm still in compared to some of the people I've met in the dreaming world. But they too have layers of hypnosis that they haven't come out of that I have. So there are no people that are without holes in their consciousness. And if you meet somebody that thinks that they are, then run away from them, because that's where shit gets wild. That's where cults get really intense really quick. But I mean, you could go into it, and just know what you're looking at and become the observer of it all and write a book about it or something. I'm not saying you need to not work with powerful people who think that they are no longer have shadow work to do, but you know, just as long as you're aware that just doesn't work that way. That would be really dangerous, actually. The shadow work is what balances your being every step of the way. As you go to step into your power, it could become really dangerous if you don't have the proper balance of sadness. If it's become something that's other than a path of heart, then it gets pretty monstrous. People that play with power, um, the illusions of grandeur can convince you of things that then make things possible, and you get yourself pretty deep. So I say be careful what you ask for. I don't really ask for anything other than joy, and I get a lot of that. It's overwhelming at times, but it's mixed with a balance of incredible sadness and longing. So it's all really beautiful and sort of destructive and creative, um, and magical, but torturous. It's not easy to handle all the feelings that come in and all the programming that's coming out. It's like puking a lot of puking, emotional puking, or actual, the recapitulation, you're basically purging on the out breath. Feels like acidic memory is leaving you. It's nothing personal to the memory, it's just that the inventory is heavy and we just want to make it lighter. You still get to keep your story. The people that do really advanced recapitulation say that it no longer is your story at one point. It feels like you're just witnessing someone else's life when you're reviewing your life. Because you tap into your parallel beings, you become a multi-faceted creature of awareness, which is the most beautiful thing to even consider being possible. And then, so in my course, we're working with parallel lives. It's my course is called Multiplicity. And you can join and purchase the recordings and join us at any time. We've got a couple classes left out of 9, but the recordings are powerful and it feels non-linear, like you're there anyways. So, but we're working with parallel life conversations and tapping into different ways in which we can feel uh, through dreaming or through guided recapitulating or guided meditations, how to travel into these other layers and have contact, and how to just receive vision. Toltecs say that we're in a vision and that there's other visions that we can go to. And you start to build that bridge to other interactions outside of this place. It starts vague and like dreams, but then eventually it becomes like, so like reoccurring dreams have a lot of significance, and there's a lot of things we can learn when we become using our dreams in magical ways. I'm not very advanced in dreaming like a lot of people I know, but I've spent a lot of time doing things in the realm of gazing that makes it possible for me to heal myself in really unique ways all the time, whenever I want, almost. Just because when you can shut this world off through accessing the psychedelic nature of perception, you get a huge break from the linear, from the inventory, which is what causes a lot of like stress. And I'm not saying I'm without stress, or I'm just in the fortunate position to be able to go into deep states of silence quickly now, which was not easy for me a very long time ago, and I didn't even believe it was possible. It was sort of outside of the range of, and I understand people that feel that way. It's very uncomfortable to sometimes be confronted with the idea of how unsilent we are. But there's some tricks, like vows of silence. You just take a couple of days and don't say things. It starts to help you. Or just becoming more conscious of what you're sharing with your friends or your partner, or, like bringing awareness to how and what you're saying and why. Toltecs talk about having a warrior's dialogue. You're sort of using words magically, you're speaking things into the field consciously. I don't, plan on anything that I say. I come on here and talk, and it just is what it is. It's just not that I can't do that. I just don't. And even if I did, it wouldn't remain. It's like traveling, following a thread. um, But the hypnosis piece, knowing what areas in which you're still under hypnosis and being able to talk about that, can be one of the best things that you can do for yourself and others. Showing up in the community meetings or in my courses and sharing can be a powerful way to free yourself of any anything that hasn't, you know, been given the proper platform. It's kind of like having a microphone to the universe when you come into these rooms, because you're being witnessed, and so it echoes through eternity. When you share, especially in a vulnerable, something that's takes courage to say. A lot of our breakthroughs in life happen when we step up to the stage, to the mic, so to speak. It's a lot of the reason I hold space, and the one-on-ones as well. It's just like I kind of take away people's excuses. So when you're ready for that, I can help you see how to take the blinders off so that you can find the solutions that maybe you didn't want to know were there, but they're simple and practical and magical. And uh, it's just that we resist the simple, and we want things to be complex, because that's where we, learn to live. We, things are complex as far as the storyline, the religions, the intellectual, academic platform. So we can come out of the mind and get into our feelings. Then we can use our intellect in a way that isn't binding us to this layer of the onion. We still want to advance our ability to use our mind in powerful ways. But often what we think is our mind is actually a foreign installation telling us a story that is making sure that we remain under, that we remain programmable. So we're always going to be dealing with the program. It's just whether or not you remain programmable. Every time you go to sleep, things happen. We're not alone, and we're not just having random dreams. You're interacting with beings from other realms that are observing you, and they may look like your auntie or your uncle. If you look in their eyes, start paying more attention, things are not what they seem. It does not mean that you don't encounter real people in dreams. That's a magical part of dreaming. You can travel to other people and see them and be with them and learn to dream together, which is the most incredible thing that we could learn to do as a race of aware creatures here in this incredible place. It's what I think we'll need to learn to do, which is exciting. Kind of when our backs are up against the canyon wall, you find out what you're made of. You might as well go out trying to figure out every aspect of your being within you. It doesn't have to be some barbaric, reckless solution. It could be the most magical, simple revelation that your energetic resources are revealed to you at a time when they're most needed. But you want to give yourself as much runway as you need to take off. So actually slowing down and instead of trying to make up for lost time. Time is magical, and it'll work in your favor when you trust in it. So it's just, it's a beautiful thing to be alive. It's a gift. But if you're struggling on deep levels to reach gratitude and to heal your chakra line, energy gets stuck. It can become overwhelming, and it can cause disease. But sometimes disease becomes your purpose in life. So everything happens for a reason. You didn't do anything wrong. You may have got lost and confused and not listened and got caught up in numbing yourself in ways that are dysfunctional, and it's not easy to re-establish your link with intent. At one point, we did have a link as little babies. We were tripping out in powerful ways. I remember being able to do dreaming at a young age, and then something started interfering. The conditioning just gets heavy really quick as soon as you come out of your early youth and into just the school system or whatever. It's so intense what we go through. So if we could stop beating ourselves up for being where we're at and love ourselves as we are, as much as we can at least. But I'm here to help, that's what I do, is help people start changing the way they talk about themselves, and offer practical steps to get, from a stage of stagnant confusion to pretty much having your field get super clear, and clarity and power become accessible. We all go through stages of spiritual fear, but that's all it is fear, and it doesn't have to remain. When life gets really beautiful and magical, you don't have to have all this protection up. You can just relax and enjoy and laugh, and that's what really changes everything. So I hope you're laughing, and if not, go watch something that'll make you laugh, or or get angry, whatever. Don't hold it back. Find means and methods to express yourself through dance or stomping. It's not easy to get to the emotion. I have a lot of heartache. I'm learning to sit with it instead of try to fix it. And that seems to make so much more sense now that my body's starting to accept that. And it feels amazing. It's like coming home, because we're all in a lot of pain. We just don't usually acknowledge it. And then that's where all the coping and distractions come in. So boredom, if you can just be bored, eventually there's no such thing. It moves past that into intensity. When you crave just being in the dark alone, then that's a huge breakthrough. But I think it takes having a lot of light to do that, so getting a lot of light somehow. I do believe that the sun is communicating with us as a friend, as a father-like figure, consciousness, and it's offering great guidance. It's just not in words. It's transmitted like as a feeling, really. I hope everyone takes really good care of themselves as much as you can, and reach out if you feel called to connect. And yeah, be well.